What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. I normally don't do videos this late, but I just wanted to get one out. So I'll probably make like a post about it tomorrow so everyone knows. But if you watched it today, pretty cool. So I did the Sacred Beast deck profile. I did a bunch of gameplay videos. And if you guys have been around the channel for a while, you'll know that one of the decks I used to play a lot was the Uria build. So I don't play it in the normal Sacred Beast because you can't use it with skill drain, obviously, or not not effectively, at least in my opinion. So I like to make builds that play are for this deck, and I used to run like Charge of the Light Brigade and all that kind of stuff, and that's still a pretty interesting theory, one way or another. But the deck is so consistent with Puri Res Map in existence. I feel pretty confident about being able to get traps in the graveyard, and I still run Haman. Obviously, it's not only Uria, but you get to run a lot of cool traps because you want to put as many in the graveyard as possible. Because of Hyperblaze, right? So this goes to 3K because I played Solemn Judgment. So that's kind of like one example. And obviously, like card is still very good. This is like the perfect setup. Even though Pot of Prosperity, I've talked about this card a little bit in my other gameplay videos. Yeah, it's a little weird for sure because like I'm not going to use it this turn, but if I was impermed on my Dark Beckoning Beast, like my plays would have been over. Versus maybe I can still find that opening of the Spirit Gates, which would have made a big difference. Obviously, it doesn't get better than this. This is literally the best opening hand I think I could have. 2 Hyperblaze, and you actually can use both Hyperblaze, but there's a skill drain on the board now. And I gain attack, or gain life points every time he summons a monster. So, yeah, that's... I mean, the only other thing maybe was, like, the Chameleon one. That might be the only thing missing, from this being, like, top tier, or being better. Sometimes I feel like this deck is kind of better than the other one because it plays around there can be only one so much better because Haman is a Thunder and I think Uria is a Pyro, so you'll never have to worry about summoning your Sacred Beast. Okay, once again, this is full combo, so go ahead and dump that, go for the Dark Summoning Beast. Once again, kind of have the same thing, but this time I have Cerulean Skyfire, kind of nice, right? I'll draw a couple cards, and there's 2. I think there's a really similar opening, but I've talked about this a lot. You play a lot of 3 of, so he's going to go for the Despot 001. Maybe I should have ashed that. I'm not exactly sure, but in any case, I don't think can Pendulum Summon. He tries to go for the Monster Reborn, so I'm thinking, I guess he's going for, a Borreload Savage Dragon or something. I don't really know what the 4 was going to be used for. But in any case, I'm feeling pretty decent. This can pop back row. So Uria is, not a bad card. Don't get me wrong. It's just the way that I play Sacred Beast normally. I just don't have a space for Hyperblaze, and it does take a lot of setup, so it's a much kind of slower version. I could have gone into Nightmare Phoenix or whatever the case may be, and gotten over his board, and still have 2 Hyperblaze, so it would have been a pretty beefy attack body. Here's a match against Pendulums. So this is not a great opening because I don't have any play starters, but their Chameleon 1 in Solemn Judgment hopefully will do a lot, and plus the Ash Blossom is going to start some of it, stop some of his plays too. He did have the Pendulum Call, which is a little unfortunate for me, but okay. So he's going to go ahead and special summon. This is a Fiend, so I'm kind of waiting for him to go for his first Spellcaster monster. That way he's committed to it and he can't do anything else with it. Kind of interesting that he ends up, sending the Chronograph Sorcerer because it's a 2,000 attack body. It would have put me on a really short-term kind of limit there. But okay, he's going to pop his double Iris Magician, go for the Star Pendulum Graph, go for Christian Holly 5 Brax. Decent enough, I guess. This is still a Spellcaster. He's going to go for the Chronograph Sorcerer, I suppose. And then he's going to turn all those into Access Code Talker. I had the Solemn Judgment. So I waited pretty long. I was pretty patient. I'm kind of on a 1-turn clock. I mean, if he just grabs anything, then he can normal summon, the duel is over. But I top deck Puri Res Map. And like I said before, there's 11 ways to get to your play starter, so I felt fairly confident I was going to get something that I could use, and luckily I did find one of them. Okay, Solomon Great, I can bring this back. Chaos Summoning Beast can go into Haman, so now I've essentially taken over this duel here a little bit. I just had to survive long enough to get something on the board. So it is going to trigger Star Pendulum Graph. I don't really mind because there can be only one personally, but probably should have activated this before. Could have gotten 1,500 life points. You never know if that could come up. So he's going to go a couple of summons. He's going to give me 2,200 life points. He's got to send one anyways. Kind of funny, I guess. So this is an attack position, so I had to use Solomon Great Almirage. He's probably going to pop their Chameleon 1, but okay. I mean, I'm still feeling pretty good overall. I'm way ahead in advantage here. I can just grab another Awakening of the Spirit Gates too. And then after all this is done, I think I can even go into... Yeah, so I can go into Transcode Talker. I've talked about this card a little bit, but there's like this cool little combo, or like if you can get 2 monsters on the board, or if you have 3 available, you can use Transcode Talker and then go into Access Code Talker, so it has like a really big attack. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but like I've talked about before, you don't really ever go into your extra deck. So I'm just going to pop his entire back row. That way I can make sure he doesn't Pendulum Summon. This card isn't doing anything anymore. Like this card's dead, but that's all right. There's no one card in Pendulums that can like do anything for him. I don't have any more Haman, which is kind of funny. So I have to go for the Uria here. And this is kind of where the deck is a little like, oh, it's maybe not so good, or maybe not as good as the other ones, because it takes a lot of setup to get this guy going. You need Hyper Blaze. I mean, you need Fallen Paradise. So, you know, what are you going to do? But in any case, you know, I did have a couple of continuous traps in the graveyard, which is nice. This is another game against Pendulums. A very, very, very good looking opening. Imperm Ash, plus my play starter, and I actually have my other play starter too. Chaos Summoning Beast, meaning I can go full combo, I guess, if that's how you want to call it. Almirage, I can dump this, bring this back, go into... I like to put Haman here because of Pentstag, so maybe some piercing battle damage coming up. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty good. I mean, I guess if I have Cerulean Skyfire, it kind of stinks. But I didn't draw into it. I don't want to just leave this out there without a Hyper Blaze. But double Imperm Ash, very, very good. Pendulum Call is like so bad to get Ash, man. I've been there like a billion times in this deck. I can go ahead and pop this. He cannot respond, which is really, really nice, I suppose. Although I don't think he could have even used it. Target 1 Magician Pendulum monster. Yeah, this is an Abyss Curtain, so I don't even know if you even realize that. There's the Transcode Talker combo again. So it does come up, I guess, fairly often as I'm looking at these replays. Then I could just go for game. I did draw into Hyper Blaze. That's okay, though. Didn't need it. Just a couple more. I'll do a deck profile plus gameplay video too. I just wanted to, you know, get this out there so people could see it. You know, get their minds rolling a little bit, see what's going on in this deck, see how different it is. I don't want him to be able to search the Moulin Glacier, which I think he does anyway. So it's probably just a wrong target to Ash. Although if he did get Sea Serpent, the Nibiru would have been popped out of my hand. So yeah, you know what? It's probably the best decision. I think I make a really egregious mistake in this duel. He does end up popping the card, but the reason I went for Nibiru so early is because I wanted him not to be able to use Moulin Glacier, which luckily I was able to do. And Sea Serpent only grabs 1 card from the hand. Puri Resmap can get me my play starter. Their Chameleon one's like really good against this deck, I think. Well, Aqua, Sea Serpent, it's so-so, I suppose. I think I just wanted to dump this into the graveyard because I can just like add back this Cerulean Skyfire. Maybe not the best decision in the world. I don't know. It was really a net 0 for everybody involved in the whole interaction. But okay. Fallen Paradise can draw me a couple cards. I can go ahead and add this back. And yeah, this is in defense position. I mean, luckily, at least if he like gets rid of one of these, I still don't take damage for the rest of the turn, which I guess could come up. He's not going to be able to attack into anything. He goes for the Mistar Boy. Okay. Do what you got to do. This is against UA. This was a really interesting duel, actually. Okay, so we can go ahead and grab my play starter. I do make the correct play here, so I do give myself a Salmagra and Almirage. It's kind of like a Fallen Paradise without the draw, too. I mean, it can still be targeted, but at least I have Destruction, you know, protection. Okay, so he's going to be able to search twice, so Penalty Box is not a once per turn. I will, of course, negate that to protect my back row. Saving the Solemn Judgment because it has... I don't want to just use it to negate a spell and trap. Like, only if it's, like, really, really, really necessary. And this card, just most people just are never expecting and never play around. He's going to try to destroy that card. I thought he'd go for one of my back row. I mean, I thought he would be able to see the Salmagra and Almirage play, but I guess he didn't. He did go for the Powered Jersey, but I will, you know, negate that it's in this column. Luckily, I did have it. He can't get over my Haman. That gets bounced back to the hand. So, yeah, I at least survive at least one turn here with Haman. And this is where I make the misplay. Like, this is really bad. Normally I wouldn't even show a duel because this is, like, embarrassingly bad. I'm about to activate Foolish Burial in this zone for no reason at all, other than I wasn't paying attention. And there's a couple of plays, but the rest of the duel is pretty interesting, actually. Okay, so I'll go ahead and negate that and go to the battle phase, get over his monster. What I was going to do is dump the Chaos Summoning Beast. I guess it's there on the top. That way I could grab the field spell. So this is just kind of out there right now, unfortunately for me. Although I say unfortunate, but it was absolutely my fault. I'm not going to let him search out because I don't want him to be able to, get the one that, pops a card. I'll go ahead and use Solemn Judgment. So again, he cannot go over Hamon. He does go for Borreload Savage Dragon. At least I'm not going to take any damage here. And hopefully I can survive another turn. This can't be destroyed by battle, but that's alright. I can go ahead and banish the Dark Summoning Beast. I can do normal summon here. He's going to change those to defense position. Doesn't really make a difference at all. I can grab a Fallen Paradise. Hopefully grabbing a Hyper Blaze maybe. And I did. So it's kind of lucky. Okay, so their Chameleon 1 is going to come down too. He's going to be able to search again with Penalty Box. Like, that's just so crazy. He's going to add that back to his hand. Go for the normal summon. I'm going to activate their Chameleon 1. And these are all warrior monsters, so that's going to be really, really tough for him to get over. Or get around. However you want to call it. And I can activate Piri Res Map. I probably search something else this time. Who knows what it's going to be. I guess a Dark Summoning Beast. And I can go ahead and dump that. Add this back to my hand. I can draw a couple cards. I grab another Uria and another their Chameleon 1. A little unfortunate, but, overall, I guess not the worst thing in the world. I can go ahead and activate this. Although their Chameleon 1 is here, so I don't know. I was kind of seeing if he does get around their Chameleon 1, I need to have some sort of backup play to survive. I'm not taking damage for the rest of the turn. It was in defense position, so he had to attack into it. And yeah. Although, what do I have in my graveyard? Anything? I guess I did have access to everything that I wanted to, but that's a little bit of a crummy decision, I guess, going for the IP. Maybe not the best thing I've ever done. But this is going to go ahead and go into attack position. I can draw a couple cards and then activate, Hyper Blaze. I think this goes up to 9,000 attack, so pretty cool. Without the charge of the Light Brigade, you can still get that your Uria up pretty high. This is against Yosenju. I ended up losing this match because he opened 3 Imperm in the last game. It was very annoying, but overall I feel pretty decent about this matchup. It's half decent. I mean, Yosenju's so random too. It's not like something you plan to play against. But I do face a lot of adversity in this duel, so I think it's pretty neat that I'm able to win it just in general. So he's going to, grab those back to the hand. I can just go ahead and, send that back to there. Then I can normal summon the Uria, search the field spell, so he's not going to be able to target my cards for the rest of the turn. And he does have Awakening. I have Cerulean Skyfire, so if this does leave the field, at least I'm not taking damage. I feel pretty happy about that. So let's go ahead and Kaiju me. Alright, fair enough. I don't know why he plays Juzukuri. I mean, this to me, I guess, means, okay, yeah, he's playing Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. It makes much more sense. Otherwise, because this is one of the biggest Kaijus that there are. I prevented him from being able to special summon, or I should say normal summon a bunch of times. So this is kind of laying out there, and I know some of the traps depend on you having no monsters, I'm pretty sure. But he goes for the Torrential Tribute. Once again, I'll just kind of do the same exact thing I did last time. I can normal summon this, and this is another duel where you can kind of see it's Uria needs a lot of setup to work. When it is set up, you win 90% of the time, but otherwise, yeah, it's just okay. I'll go ahead and just negate this summon. Not a big deal at all. If he can't do anything with his monster, he's not doing anything at all. Plus, I have the ability to pop his back row. I could normal summon there. Finally get Hyper Blaze, but you see, it took me 2 turns just to get Hyper Blaze really online. He does normal summon, gets rid of this monster. Okay. This is going to come back to the hand. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber doesn't do anything because of Fallen Paradise. And I can dump this, go for the Chaos Summoning Beast. And I did dump the Dark, Dark Summoning Beast, so I was able to search. So that was kind of a cool little interaction there. And then, when I activate Hyper Blaze, we're just going to go ahead and dump this. It's going to go to 8,000 attack, which would have been enough without him on, but why not style a little bit? But yeah, that was a decent look at the Uria deck. Again, there will be more tomorrow, or hopefully I can get the deck profile tomorrow. But at some point, you will see this deck profile with more gameplay. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.